channel when we're ready
Yeah,
to
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about it. All right, now we're live anyway. We're mumbling a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
So anyway, um, all right. So let's start off because we've talked about this so many times.
Ugh,
At
forever.
least since it was 2000. I think we
Yeah.
started 2001, maybe 2002. Okay, just for everybody else's purposes, 50s and 60s was considered rock and roll, old time rock and roll. 70s, the whole 10-year decade was called disco. 80s was new wave. 90s was grunge. Okay.
Well, okay. I mean, if you're gonna, what you're saying is what was the new music in those decades? Yes, because the
Yeah,
'50s had all kinds of things, and the
that's
'60s had
true.
all
No,
kinds of things.
you're right.
Yeah, I mean, there was like great country music in the '60s. My favorite country music is '40s, '50s, and '60s. Actually, some '70s is good too, but like those decades were like that's real country. After that is shit. It's all shit from that point forward.
Okay, so
And I'm sorry, Beyonce is not country. That album is not a country album, not even close.
country folk have already stated that
All
case.
right, fine. I'm just gonna put my 2 cents in. I hated it. I'm like, where's the country music? I don't hear any country music. You mentioned the word Texas. That doesn't make your album a country album.
So, so when would you say music died?
Um, yeah. Napster was the beginning. Napster was the virus. Like it was the thing that the industry caught, and it was a parasite that was going to kill it eventually, kill its
And
host.
it killed our company that we had. Remember?
Oh yeah, yeah. But here the problem with so there's a couple of problems with music in general. Okay, so the old way of the music industry wasn't great. The new way of the music industry is even worse. But at least the old way had some benefits. Okay, the old way. Okay, and I'm just going to say this: it's not just music that's dead; it's art that's dead in general, right? So
Right.
I was having a conversation with my daughter. You had posted something about Solo Leveling, the anime,
Yeah.
and I went, "Oh, what do you think?" And she's a big, go way back to. She's like hardcore anime fan, right?
Right.
So I'm like, "What do you think of Solo Leveling?" She goes, "It's shit." She's like, "It's terrible." Compared, she's like, she went on one big massive rant, dude. I could read you off my phone. Just massive, and I'm driving, right? I was going to pick up my gun was in the gunsmith, but I'd had the trigger replaced, put a new trigger in. And so I was going to pick that up. And so I couldn't exactly have a conversation with her. And she's like sending me all these different images of like, look at how they used to animate this and look at how it looks today. And she's like giving me this whole big rant, like she's been waiting her whole life for
So she
someone to
hated
ask
the
her.
look or the story.
I forget. I forget what the
Right.
thing, but so anyway,
I get
um,
it.
and so she kind of is looking at animation, her animation that she grew up with, and anime is dead. I'm looking at art in general. I'm looking at film, music. I'm looking at animation. Um,
Books.
I don't really read fiction much. And I'm looking at that as being dead, right?
Right.
It's just nowhere near the level. We had gatekeepers. It was really hard to write a song and get a song made. Okay. When it was really hard to write a song and get it made, only the truly gifted and dedicated people who are willing to put in the huge number of hours to put something out and get it out there would be able to get something out there. And then maybe it wouldn't even get played. So you can get it on the vinyl and then it might not ever get airtime,
Okay,
right?
hold it right there. You said vinyl. Do you remember? I'm sure the people watching probably weren't even born, but do you remember we like Pink Floyd The Wall? We get an album, we'd run home to play it. We would lay on the floor and read all the words.
Yep.
It was like,
And you had a poster. You had a
yep,
poster
yeah.
sometimes. You get this poster. I have all of my albums. I from the day, except ones I lost to through life, but only a couple. But all my albums, I still have them. There's value in the artwork and in the packaging, and I can't just throw them out.
I
But
get it.
but the thing is that we had gatekeepers, okay, and we had two things that we don't have today. We have gatekeepers to keep everybody from creating crap and just flooding the world with their crap, okay.
You're talking
And we
people
had
or companies? Gatekeepers.
yeah, people at companies.
Got
And
it.
then the second thing we had is we had a tangible product, something that was physical, a physical product. Those are the two things that now that they're gone have hurt the industry. Okay. So what you don't have, like, I can listen to any music I want. Okay. I can listen to past music. I can listen to, some bedroom producer's music. And that's great that we can get our stuff out there, because I write music. It's great you can get your stuff out there, but everybody's just polluting it. It just lowers the value, the standards. Because what's your chance of finding somebody really good today? Like, when was the last time
Really,
you found?
I found one band in the past 3
How
years.
and how?
I stumbled across it.
Okay,
Somebody shared it, but I
right.
stumbled across
You
it.
stumble across it accidentally, or you see
Yeah.
it in a commercial,
Yep.
or in a
TV show.
movie, or in some show, right?
Right.
Where
Right.
okay, that is the old way of discovering music. There is no new way of discovering music. We used to discover it on the radio. That was our way. Radio was it for us as kids, right? There's no new good, or MTV after that. There's no new way to discover music, right? And you could say,
Wait,
"Oh, you
wait.
could go to Spotify," and no,
New music. No, no, no. There's no
new
way to.
music.
Yeah.
Yes,
New stuff
new
you've never
music.
heard before.
Right, new music.
Right. Yep.
Even during the early days of hip hop, people would make these tapes and they'd pass them around, and they'd slowly work their way through neighborhoods and stuff. And you'd go to an event, and they'd be playing music and stuff. And so if you look back in those days, because what happens typically is you get these movements in these urban centers where people are on the cutting edge of whatever is going on, punk, hip hop, all of these new wave, all of these movements and stuff, and even disco, and it makes its way into the mainstream slowly. And
Right.
there was a process in which everything gets filtered, right? Maybe a new thing comes up and it never made it, and it never even got named. It was just a movement, a little bit, and it morphed into something that did get named. So you don't have this kind of assembly line of of art that you can then call down into the best that everybody can consume. And we all consume the same stuff. When we were listening to new wave, which they call synth pop now, but when it was called new wave, everyone was listening to that. We'd all listen to Duran Duran. We all listen to Boy George. We all listen to the Police. We all listen to the same music. And so it had a
That
cultural
was such a
impact.
great time, dude.
I know, but it had a cultural impact on us, right? Because we all and the same with television, it's with TV. I think it's still that we don't all watch it at the same time, but we all kind of watch the same shows and we talk
Right.
about the shows,
Right.
but we don't have that with music, right? I think most people are listening to music from the past, which is sad, because I miss new stuff. I love the past, don't get me wrong. And I even go further back than my own lifetime for good music. But I think it's so. But here's the thing. So how do you give music value again? Okay, how do you give it value?
Well, you don't own it anymore. You don't own the rights to it anymore. They can pull it anytime you want.
Yes, and
Yeah.
of course, but my question, it goes back to, how do you make music valuable again?
You would have to make it tangible again.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Like,
It
they're
has
like,
to
"Oh,
be
just
something tangible.
concerts now. That's how artists make money." Yeah, and then you have Ticketmaster, who are bastards and should die in a horrible plane crash.
I've
Okay,
heard that so many times.
right? But what do? They go, "Ooh, that's where all the money is. We're just going to gouge the fuck out of the artists and charge these huge fees." So now the artists are losing money that way constantly, right? So yeah, the artist gets screwed, and that's a different subject. But you need to make music tangible again, to where
Mhm.
you have something that you're buying,
Right.
and I don't think that's ever going to happen, unfortunately.
So you really think Napster was the beginning of the end?
It was the beginning of the end, without a doubt.
And
Yeah, without a doubt.
LimeWire, I think we all had our favorite music rip-off software, but, once you could duplicate it easily, it became valueless.
No, that's not
That's the
that's
word.
not totally true. That's not totally true, 'cause you remember doing this. You'd record shit off the radio,
Oh,
remember?
yeah.
Right, but we didn't want those. We only did that when we were poor kids. But once
Right.
we could get enough money and scrape together like $5, we would go down to Tower Records and buy an album, right? And
Right.
we'd want
Right.
an album for our birthday or Christmas. We would that why? Because the value of the music is here, but the value of having the whole album of just that one song was here, but having a whole album was here, right? Back in the day when, like, most of the albums we grew up with, the whole album was great. Okay.
Yeah.
Over the years, you'd get one great song,
Yep.
like
You
remember
do
what was it? Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians. Remember that? Like
no.
that was a okay. So that album was like, I'm like, what? They have one good song on the album, and the rest is just terrible. I listened to a Smithereens album the other day. Blood and Roses is the only good cut on that album. Everything else is just absolute mediocrity. And so it got to a point in the late 80s and mostly through the 90s when you couldn't trust that if you liked a song, that the album was probably going to be pretty good, because they just started one great hit and they would just sell you all this other crap.
Right, right,
So the
right.
value of the album came down, right? It used to be like better than the song.
But the
And then
quality went down too.
say again,
The quality, like you're saying. Yeah, who
the album quality went down and therefore its value went down. Okay.
yeah.
Right. And so my point is that we got to the point where we're like, and I even said this, I just want to buy the song because the album sucked. So the industry did it to itself in a lot of ways, right? The industry, got
Right.
greedy. They got overly greedy and they ruined it. Um,
Yep.
it's the old Aesop's fable, right? About I forget what it was, the name of it. Was a dog, and he had the steak in his mouth, and he was looking at his reflection in the water, and he was walking over a bridge, I think, or something. He looks at his reflection in the water, and he saw another dog, and it had steak. So he went to bark at it so he could get his steak too, and his steak fell out of his mouth and into the water.
I never heard that, dude.
Yeah,
I never
I think it's an Aesop fable. I could be wrong, but yeah. But that's literally what the music. When you get greedy, that the whole point of that story is, if you get greedy, you can lose what you
remember
do have.
everything hinged on a record deal.
Yeah,
Everything did.
yeah, I do. But the thing, let's go back to the subject. The subject is music is dead, and why? And it happened from Napster technology, and it happened from greed. So and it happened, technology is the number one killer of it, actually,
Yeah.
not greed. Because you can come
Right.
back from greed. You can compete
Right.
with those people and then put them out of business. But you can't come back from technology. The fact that music is so easily obtained. Imagine this: you can make a copy of someone's car. Okay, you go, oh man, that Lamborghini is beautiful. I'd like to get a copy of it. And you pull out your phone and you get a copy car app, and you just, and all of a sudden another Lamborghini is right next to it, and you hop in and you drive away. How valuable are Lamborghinis all of a sudden?
Zero.
Zero. They're worthless, because I can just clone them out and everybody up and down the block can have a Lamborghini.
But
The fact that
how did we lose the generational naming every 10 years, and then at 2000 it just stopped? We didn't even, I mean, as a
well,
culture.
as the industry was collapsing in on itself,
Right.
the machine also broke down. Right? The whole thing of getting new types of music, picking the next big artists and promoting them, and then naming a genre
Right.
after what they were doing. Music education in school hurt us, right? They took music out of the schools.
Right.
and they put in gender ideology bullshit. You know, that hurt us.
Right.
That hurt us a lot because then, you know, kids aren't going to go into that area or even
Right.
understand music, know the history of music. Um, a lot of that happened. I think sampling, um, lowering the bar to the music. Like anyone can, you can literally, and I pay attention to all the products for
Right.
music
Right.
creation, and you can just buy stuff that, oh, it just does a beat for you, right? Gives you, you know, you buy this plugin and now you can have, you know, some drum track, and then you just put some stupid thing over the top of it and pay someone who's already done all the real hard work of programming the synths, and you just play, you press one button and it plays a bunch of chords for you, and then you even have programs that will generate the chords for you, and now we have
Right.
AI who can just write the whole
Just
damn
write the
thing
whole
and
song
then
yourself
sing
and
it.
write.
Well, everything
You can sing it with your voice.
right, or you can sing it and it'll change your voice to someone else's voice. I mean, you literally, like, you could just press a button and a song just gets pooped out of the machine every 5 seconds. That's
Okay,
where we're
so
at.
I do know that Spotify has some playlists that get refreshed, hopefully, by the owner of the playlist, like New Music Friday. There is such a thing. I know there's a few places that you can discover. It's tough.
Yeah,
They also
but it isn't just that. It's when you can make music without skill.
exactly, that's
That's
true.
the problem. Like I can write music sitting here in my room. I'm sitting right at my music desk, okay? I can't play keyboards worth a shit, okay? Used to be you couldn't write music unless you could play the keyboard. Like I can sequence it all. I can
Right.
write this. I can write it on a score sheet, right? And have the computer play it. That's my player. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But everyone had to be at a level. Like look at Prince. I mean, look at the people who made it. The people who actually had a career. I mean, that guy could play a million instruments. Like everyone good plays a million
Right.
instruments. My daughter's old piano teacher when she was in school, right? He used to play in Frank Zappa's band, right? The dude played a million instruments. Like that guy was amazing, and now he's sitting teaching my daughter how to read sheet music and play the piano. I mean, it's always been difficult for musicians.
It's kinda like if you pushed a button like the Jetsons and you wanted food, and you push a button and it pops out. That's kinda
Well,
like
go
with the
back to my
music.
Lamborghini example. When I was able to make a copy of a Lamborghini, you said it was worthless. Well,
Right.
now music, I can press a button, no talent,
Right.
just spend a
Right.
little bit of money, press a button, and a song comes out and go, well, look at me. I'm a producer.
Literally Music Row out here. I'm in Music City, right? Music Row is a bunch of empty buildings. It's a
Yeah.
bunch of that's it. It's just a
Yeah.
street.
The,
It's not
the,
Music Row anymore.
right. If when I go into the gym, they play music. Sorry, they play music, and it's terrible. It's awful. It's so pedestrian. And I go back to sampling. You know, where they just sample loops and shit. It's just you're just lowering the musicianship of the people who are producing this stuff, and then they just rap some crappy lyric over the top of it. There's nothing to say, or it's just the most basic human kinds of things like sex or money or greed or power or all
Or
these like
bad mouthing somebody else.
just that's it. And that hasn't changed in 25 years of
Wow.
this shit. And so and people are like, oh, I love this song. Well, this are you kidding me? This is like the pinnacle.
You wanna know the pinnacle? Go to a Super Bowl halftime show. The biggest joke ever. People couldn't understand it. They couldn't they're like, "I had to turn on closed captioning, and I can hear." It was crazy. So, that's what the music industry has come to. That
Yeah.
guy
But
got
wait,
the
wait, but
halftime
let's
show.
yeah, so we've talked all the shit, but there are people out there like are amazing. Like I was talking about my daughter's piano teachers. that guy's amazing. Talking about Prince, he could play all these things. There are people out there today, still new,
Still
young
alive. Yep.
people, all the way to the oldsters who used to do this stuff that are amazing. Where the fuck is all the music that they're making, and how come I can't find it? Right? Where is all of that?
Okay, this is a tough question. What was the last new band or artist you learned of that you liked? Not just learned of, but you liked.
I can't. Here's the thing. I have them on my Spotify play, on
Right,
my
right.
library, but I can't recall the names.
How long's it been?
I'm terrible with names. I haven't looked for a while. That's the main thing. That's the point. It takes energy for me to do it. I have to do the work. Whereas before I would just turn the radio on and then
Right.
I'd hear this new song. I'm like, ooh, I like that song. Who's that? And you wait to hear it again and you'd hear it and you would learn about who it is and what the title of the song is. And then
Right.
you might hear that band again. And then
Then you
you'd
buy
like,
their
oh,
album because you
buy
like
their
them?
album. Exactly. That it was a progression, but I wasn't tasked with having to be an A&R man, right? I don't want to do that job. I want someone else to do that
Right,
job,
right.
right? I mean, I wouldn't mind doing that job, but the point is I got my own life to live. I got my own jobs to do. I've got my own stuff to do. I'm not being paid to do that. I still have to go out and do that. It's just easier for me to just look through my list, scroll. Oh, cool. I'm listening to Electric Light Orchestra for the millionth time because it's great. And I know what I'm getting when I listen to that.
Right.
Right. And if you looked at how they programmed radio, you worked in radio, you should know this, right? When they programmed radio, they didn't just give you all the new stuff. You got all the old stuff you're familiar with, and they slowly mixed the new stuff and they dropped off some of the old stuff. So they were always mixing in the new stuff. You're
Yep.
always getting that part like mixed in. So I don't get to do that with Spotify. No one's curating lists for me, right? No one's doing that, and they're doing algorithms to do that, and the algorithms suck. They're awful.
They are awful. Especially when they have a discovery feature that's awful. None of it appeals to me. So where do
Yeah,
you go to learn new music? You just jump around or what?
I don't know. I don't have a way. I don't have a process. I don't know how I found some of these people. Bump into it somehow. I don't even know. Oh, I know. Some has been on like other people's videos, YouTube videos. I'll be like, oh, what is that? And try to find out where it is and hunt it down because I really liked it to see if
Right.
it's always this. Oh, I like that one cut and I want to see if they have anything else I'm going to like. And if so,
Right, right.
I'll add their album. Now, what do? I just say, oh, I'll just add their album to my library. Right. And that's it.
That's
And I'm
way
done.
too
I didn't
simple.
buy their shit. I didn't help them in any way. Yeah, they might get, I might give them I might affect their earnings, but what am I going to affect them by? Pennies? Like less than if I bought an album back in the old days when the record
I heard
companies took all the
Spotify
money.
doesn't pay very well at all.
None of them do. None of them
Right.
pay well.
They take advantage of it. But I don't know where to go to learn of new songs. I mean, Sirius Satellite.
Here's the
on
problem,
radio.
Jack. Here's the problem. Even if there was a place, somebody has to filter them for me. I don't have time for that. I don't want to, here's a bunch of new music. And I'm like, skip. I don't want to do that. That's what A&R guys were all about, right?
Right.
They would go into the clubs and they would see who was being hired and who was drawing crowds, and they would see what they were doing. And
They were as corrupt as politicians, though.
What?
They were as corrupt as politicians.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You had a machine. You can fix corruption, but you need a machine. You need the process. You need an assembly line of how to get this new product out to people. So, and you need new music. You need new influence. And we don't have that. What do we have today? We have everything we had 25 years ago. Everything and nothing new. We have new music, but we don't have new genres. We have nothing. Now why? Right. We don't have new genres because we don't have enough people doing the same thing, right? People would influence each other. So
you think we lost a lot of artists?
So if you look at, I don't know, if you look at any artist. You can talk to any artist that made it, and they'll be able to tell you the artists who made it before them, who inspired them.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Well, who the hell is inspiring the new artists if there are no real
Well,
new artists?
that's a good point. After so many generations, nobody will be inspired.
Well, right, because no one sees what everyone else is doing. Here's the thing: I'm inspired by something. I'm going to do something that's like it. Okay, that's how you get a genre of music. So if someone does something different, somebody is inspired by that, and they do a variation of that, and then eventually it breaks off from the main branch and becomes its own branch of its own genre.
Right,
Then you that's how it gets created, right? So, something's happening in the discotheques, right? That's where
right.
disco came from. And so what was going on in the discotheques wound up making its way onto radio and then it got codified. People started calling that disco. And then that permeated throughout the industry and
And
everybody was
more
doing
people made disco because they
right,
did.
right. But if something can never get out of the germination stage, right? Then no one else
Right,
gets to
right,
hear it who's going to be inspired by it to do something like it, go, oh, that's really a cool beat, or that's a cool synth patch or whatever.
right,
And they're going
right.
to do their thing, their variation on that. And now you have similar kinds of music, and then they're influencing other people and it spreads. You can't get a genre without that.
Will it ever come back?
I I have no idea, dude. You're asking questions. If I could answer that question, I wouldn't be on this channel right now talking. I'd be making $1 billion off the stock market.
Okay, so if it did come back, what's the path? What do you think? You said tangible.
I don't think
Does
you'll
it
ever.
have to go
I don't
there?
think you'll ever get something tangible. I
So
just
it may
don't see
never
it.
come back.
It may not. Well, it's certainly never going to come back in its old form. But can we regain the values that we lost?
Right, right.
Right.
I'm looking at the records in my room right now,
Oh
and
yeah,
I'm realizing it could all fit on a thumb drive, dude.
I know.
The whole all 3,000 of these records.
But yeah, but you can't get the artwork, right? And the acquisition of an album was a thing. When we went to CDs, we lost. I felt there was a loss. There
Yeah.
was a gain in quality, but there was a loss in value. And yet I had to pay more. And I already bought the album once, but I had to pay again for I was double charged for that, which was bullshit.
Right, right,
For the IP. I was double charged for the IP, even though it's just a different medium I should have paid for the license once and
right,
then gotten the media, just pay for the media transfer
right, right.
and not have to pay for the licensing. But I paid for that licensing on the 8-track, on the album, on the cassette, and then on the CD.
What album, this is a fun question. What album did you own multiple formats on? I know, I think I did on, Molly Hatchet, Flirting with Disaster.
Yeah, that's a good album.
Remember? That
Yeah,
was that was so good that I bought it on
that is good.
cassette.
I don't know on music, but I can say for movies, I think I bought Forrest Gump like in 3 different versions, because on
Yeah,
VHS and then on Laserdisc and then
right.
on DVD, I think.
I did that with Goodfellas. I think I have 5 different formats. I have
Dude, I
VHS.
still have the original Star Wars on Laserdisc in the shrink wrap. I never unwrapped it.
And you can't
The
play it
full
now.
I still have my player. I still have my player.
Are
I
you
still have my player.
serious?
Yeah.
Did you wipe the dust off it?
No, why would I do that?
That's like saying a Victrola.
Look, you can okay, the other day I looked up manual typewriters. You can still buy them new. New. I was
Who's
like, "Oh
who's
my."
buying new manual
I
typewriters?
wanted to buy one. I wanted to buy
That's
it.
how much were they going for?
Anywhere between like 100 and to $200.
Isn't it weird? It's valuable at first when it's brand new, a new technology, then it becomes really cheap, and then it becomes vintage, and it's valuable again.
Well, yes. I was amazed, and mostly I wanted to use it potentially for my YouTube channel. I thought that would be a cool prop, right?
Right.
For doing a video. And I'm not going to buy one, but boy, if I can ever come up with an excuse to need one, I know where to get them. But so yeah, you can get turntables still. And
You're
so
talking
I
about
have
the
the
one with the
original, dude, I
ribbon.
have the original trilogy before even Lucas fucked it up, right? Before he changed anything. I have the original on Laserdisc, and it's still in the plastic wrap. So I never even opened it.
I have so many VHS tapes like that still wrapped. Like 16 Candles, Breakfast Club was another one that
Yeah.
I had a lot of formats,
Mhm.
but they're all in digital now, so I don't ever touch them.
Right. I mean, I'm not. So here's the thing that's weird. I'm not going to walk into the other room to get a, a, a DVD and put it in the DVD player and hit play when I can just go online and find it. And I'm like, huh, $2.99, huh? I go the other room. I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
$2.99. It's
I
like
don't wanna
I'm
walk over
spending
there.
$2.99 not to walk. Now I spend hundreds of dollars a month to go work out, but I won't spend. But I'll spend $2.99 to not move off the couch.
Okay,
What is wrong with me?
that's the same as spending $12 on DoorDash to
Right.
deliver $1.50 Coke.
Right.
It's just
Exactly. Now,
yeah.
I'm
So
joking about the 2.99. I've never done that, but I've contemplated it. I'm like, well, let me see if I can just get this on Netflix so I don't have to walk in the other room and, find the DVD. And I still have all my DVDs. I'm not getting rid of those. I don't know why, but I don't want to get rid of them. I spent a lot of money on those. I'm keeping them. I have all my records. I have all my DVDs. I have all my laser discs. I have cartoons you can't get anymore, right? You can't
you act
get them
like that's
anymore.
valuable. Everybody's laughing right now.
What?
People are like, "So?"
No, I mean Warner Brothers cartoons. You can't find them online. They don't sell them on any of their
Okay,
collections.
what's one cartoon you remember that you can't
I
get
I
anymore?
I have one that are banned cartoons. I have one that are banned or they're very super racist cartoons that they did in the 30s and 40s. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like watching it. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. I'm like looking around, make sure the curtains are pulled. I'm like, this is so bad. I'm like, I couldn't stop watching. I can't believe they would do this.
I know. Yeah, they
A
were
lot during the war, a lot during World War II. Um, a lot of racist on in cartoons, Germany and Japan, against
right.
Germany and Japan, things like that. But anyway, so I have all of that stuff because it's valuable. I still have all my CDs.
Yeah, I do too.
You have all
Like,
your albums that you're converting digitally right now.
I'm selling these suckers. They're going for, like one song goes for, like, $7. It's crazy.
That is.
Yeah, but, the versions I have, you cannot buy in a store.
Then they should
You
go for more than $7, dude.
Well, they will, but the regular if you look online at that mix,
Yeah.
somebody's selling it for $7,
Yeah.
But, yeah, I got a lot of stuff that you can't get even on Spotify.
Oh, there's tons of stuff you can't get on Spotify. And then they go for whatever reason, like you'll have an album that you listen to, and then 2 cuts off that album will be grayed out, like this
You know
month.
isn't it
And then they'll
weird?
be grayed out for like a period of time. Then all of a sudden you can listen to them again. Like, what is that? Some licensing bullshit thing they didn't take
I
care of?
don't know.
It's so frustrating.
I don't know where Spotify is gonna go next. I know they're doing podcasts, I know they're doing music, I don't know what they're gonna evolve to.
Yeah, I
They
don't
gotta
either.
evolve to something, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I think I don't know where music's gonna go. I'm not happy with music in general.
It's
Um,
awful.
it's bad. The
I
music
mean,
that's popular. Like look at the Grammys. The Grammys is sort of a shell of what it used to be,
it's a
right?
jerk job, that's what we call
It's
it.
totally it. It's all bought and paid for.
Yep,
It's a big commercial.
that's
It's a
all it
bunch
is.
of artists who I don't care
Pat each
about their
other on the
music.
back.
Yeah, I don't care about the music. The music is overproduced, beautifully produced. So it's just like Hollywood movies, okay? You go to the Hollywood movie, the production quality is through the fucking roof, okay?
Right.
Same with music today. The production quality is through the roof, but the content is
It's awful.
vacuous.
It's
It's
awful.
vacuous. It is dead. It's dead. It's a shell of its former self. It or has zero value. Okay, that is the problem with with most art, and that's why I say art is dead. Art is dead because
Yeah, I
anything you
don't.
can digitize or have an AI produce, it will kill that art. And
What was
all
the
of our
thing?
art is dead. All of it.
What was the thing where you and I would buy a piece of some artwork? NFTs? What was it?
Yeah, NFTs, but that didn't last.
Yeah.
That
What
never took off.
that thing, that boy, that lived a short life, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. A bunch of people made money who got into it early, and everyone else got screwed when the music stopped and there were no chairs to sit in.
Wait, that's the same thing that's happened all our lives,
Yeah.
just different areas.
Well, it's just younger people, right? The younger you are, the more likely you're going to fall for it. You only fall for it when you're young because you don't know any better. And then you're old, you're like, man, I ain't falling for that shit. Already
Okay,
did that.
let me quickly, before I say goodbye to you, let me just look at the chat area here.
Mhm.
No, no, no. It's cheaper and more accessible to make music today. That's true. You made a whole movie. I mean, it was so things are so much easier to make.
Yeah, but it wasn't a shit movie, right? It wasn't shit. Like
I
that's the
know.
problem. Here's the problem. To make a movie is so much more difficult than it is to make a song. Like it's a million times more difficult because you got to get all these people together. It's a lot more expensive. There's all these different skill sets that you need to make a song. Doesn't take, especially the kind of songs we have today, takes almost no effort compared to that.
Right.
So yeah, the bar is very low on music.
Hey, let me answer Lemon real quick. So Lemon, back in the day when I was a DJ, Duran Duran would come out, let's say, Hungry Like a Wolf. They'd come out with a special mix. That one song would cost $7, but the album also would cost $7. So it all depend. It was vinyl, it was the hottest song at the time, and it was pricey for one song. I think I paid roughly on average $7 a song. That was the going rate for 12 inches.
Okay, so here's one I want to read. It's cheaper and more accessible to make music today, which has resulted in an explosion of new and unique music in the past decade or so. I would agree, but and then it says respectfully, if you don't see that, you're not paying attention. No, I'm not. I would agree with that statement. However, I would like to add to it that the quality of that music is very low, and the effort to find the high quality stuff is very high. Whereas in the
Right.
past, it was the other way around. So
Okay, so let's see. I think that's it for now. Let me see what else is. Yeah, last.
will Frank join a live stream in the future?
For Frank,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll bring Frank on. You guys just wait for it, okay?
Yeah,
We'll let you know.
Frank's sort of like if we bring Frank on, it's gonna be like a weekend at Bernie's.
Exactly. It's funny, they're all like, "You should bring your other brother on." I'm like, "What the frick
That's
would I?" Jim isn't
so that's
into
so
this.
basically when we were kids and our mom would be on the phone and spelling our last name, she would spell it SCAL, F as in Frank, ANI, and that's where the name comes from. So
Yeah,
that there's no
became a
Frank.
joke. It became a joke. They already are doing AI music, and it's scientifically engineered to sound better to human ears than anything else.
Kanye.
Kanye doing it in on an AI song.
Okay, so just because a song got nominated for a Grammy doesn't mean shit. Number one. Number two, yeah, Kanye did it. Great. That's wonderful. He probably won't like give up writing music and just keep pressing AI buttons. And if you can imagine it, imagine that we have a decade of AI music that's scientifically optimized. People will grow weary of that because
I know.
right? It just happens. It's the way humans are. Doesn't matter how good it is. You can make like we get tired of things. We want something new. So
2,
yeah,
3 writes, "AI music sucks, it's not good."
right. So there's like differing opinions
I
on
love it.
AI music.
Listen, music used to be everything to us. Everything. It still is. The classics, Spotify said the classics are listened more from the 80s and the 90s and from the 50s. They're listened more than current day ever was or ever is.
Right. And AI will never ever get across the same emotion. It might get you certain genres that might be fine in, like if it's just a dance beat, right? But you're never going to get human emotion or lyric. Like, oh, okay, I'm just going to pick my like one of my all-time favorite lyrics. It's this lyric written by Jimmy Webb, and it was Wichita Lineman by that sung by Glenn Campbell. And I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. Okay, that's such a beautiful line, and I
Right.
I know it's beautiful because I wish I wrote it. And then you listen to Joni Mitchell, right? Listen to like Urge for Going or The Circle Game. These are songs that the Circle Game is about life. You're not going to get an AI to really dig down deep and be poetic about life.
Oh
Then
my
there's a
God.
bunch of fun music that AI doesn't know what fun is, right? It can try to emulate fun based on what it was told. This is a fun song and this is a fun song.
Pink Floyd, The Wall was an entire story. Every song built a
Right, but
story.
you can make AI do the same thing. I just don't think it's going to hit the mark because you've got the human element, the human experience, right? And you're never
Right.
going to get that in an AI
And
piece.
who's gonna badmouth Drake? I'm sure AI ain't, but you got rappers that do. They go after each other. It becomes real. It becomes more than music. Now, I'm not into the battle rap crap, but you know what? Everybody watched Halftime Show to see if Kendrick Lamar was gonna talk shit on Drake. And he did, by the way, whether you guys caught that or not. But once again, music isn't what it used to be.
Right.
And
I
it's
mean,
sad.
and so I think that just having humans produce it and create it, it speaks to other humans. To me, I've always said that music is a way to. So if you want to communicate ideas, you use words. If you want to communicate emotion, you use music, right?
It's
And that's
interesting.
right. And the thing is that AI can't feel. It can fake emotion, but it can't feel it. So you're never going to get the same depth of meaning from a song that you might from a human that
And if you
writes.
don't believe us, go look at an AI picture. You can tell it's an AI picture. You can tell it's got a feel to it. So AI music, it's got a feel to it that's not authentic.
I at this point of the game, I can see when something's AI video, and I can see when something's AI imagery, and I can tell if a song is well. I can't. Okay, I must admit, I cannot tell when a song is AI at this
Right.
point. Not because it's so good, but because the music today is so bad. It could very well be AI
Yeah.
or someone in their
Humans are
bedroom.
making crap too.
What?
Humans are making crappy songs
Right, that's
too.
the problem. That
Yeah.
is the problem. The difference now is that anyone can make crap. All we've done is lowered the bar so low we had to dig a hole and bury it.
Dude,
That's the problem.
do you wanna do an AI album? We'll release it?
God, no. No,
Come
why?
on.
Why would I put more shit into the world? No, I wanna put good things into the world, and that isn't a and literally nothing AI. AI can help you in that process. Like you're trying to write a lyric and you're trying to look for a particular line. You could ask AI, "Oh, is there a better word for this?" Or how would you say this more lyrically? You can get help with AI. But I don't think that I think AI can is like an exoskeleton for us, right? It isn't going to be the composer or the lyricist, but it can help a composer or a lyricist write better
Right,
stuff.
right. So that's about it. I think we covered it. We checked out some of the questions. We appreciate you guys joining us. Um, but we got to move on. This is the second show for me. So uh, I'll be on with Jimmy tomorrow, and we'll be talking trending topics. But in the meantime, my brother Charles and I will be back next week with another topic. So the final thought is we probably, it's not like we'll save by going backwards. We'll save by going to a new direction. a
We
new
just don't know what
technology.
that is. We have no clue.
Right,
None.
right. So we'll see, and then we'll visit the topic again.
Right. We know the attributes that we lost. We know the things that we lost, right?
Right.
We've lost value in music.
Yep.
We've lost, a lot of things there. And the filters, it's very difficult to learn new music, harder than it's ever been. We just don't know how to get that in this world, starting at this point.
Do you remember the first album you gave me? First album I
Gave
ever owned.
you?
Yeah.
I don't even,
You gave me my first album
what, for
when we were
Christmas?
kids.
For Christmas?
No, just gave it to me.
Oh, I
When we
don't
were
know.
kids, it was ELO's Greatest Hits with the
Oh, no,
with the medallion.
I think I bought that for either, it's probably a Christmas present.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I remember it came from you, and
Yeah.
it was the first album I ever had.
My
Man,
first album was K-Tel Hits. Was a K-Tel album.
okay, don't
I
age
still
your
have it.
dude, don't age yourself. And you played it at 78, right?
No, it's 33.
All right, say goodbye, and we
All right.
will pick this up next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.